So what is it that I'm exactly talking about? What is the mastermind, the genius play that Microsoft is actually doing right now? Obviously, this is all speculation. This is all based on what I'm seeing the trajectory to be. And if you are watching this, there is going to be no fancy stuff here unless you just want to see my facial impressions and reactions as I'm talking. So feel free to listen to this as you're doing everything else. But this video will hopefully enlighten some things to you and maybe actually filling the blanks where Microsoft hasn't actually revealed them. And maybe that is for good reason, maybe not, but I'll let you be the judge on that and let me know in the comment section below after you've watched the video whether you agree with me, don't agree with me, think there is some merit to what I'm saying, or if you think I'm completely and utterly wrong, then I'd love to hear that too, because I love hearing your opinions, because guess what? I'm still human and I can get things wrong. But the thumbnail says Microsoft just played a genius hand and no one has even realized it. So what exactly am I talking about here? Well, I'm TheChaosLounge. Thank you so much for tuning into this video and I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, do consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date with all content I release. If you want to support me further, you can do that through the YouTube membership, the super thanks, and of course my Patreon. All links in the description below. But here we go. So what is it exactly that's going on here? What is happening in the world of Xbox? As you know, their games are going to PlayStation, they're going to the Nintendo Switch, they go day and date to PC, but the FTC is still on their case, right? And obviously Microsoft still wants to buy more. They want to be the biggest publisher in the world where no matter where you buy games, revenue comes in. That's the goal. That's the end goal. But as you're aware, they can't do that right now because every time they will go and try to buy or make another acquisition, the FTC and the regulators will be on their back. We all know this. We all expect this. So how is Microsoft supposed to achieve that dream? Well, as you know, in my previous stream, some of you agreed, some of you did not, some of you were iffy about it. I made the suggestion that the next Xbox isn't going to be a traditional console like Jez is predicting, but it's going to be more of a mini PC, a reference PC to be exact, where it will have a base model that, a kind of blueprint where it's either going to have like 16 gigs of RAM or 32 gigs of RAM. It will have a minimum CPU to go with it, a minimum GPU to go with it, and then it will be housed in like a console platform. It's going to be a console. It won't be upgradable. So it will still use a nice UI. So when you boot into the actual machine, instead of you seeing Windows, you're going to see a really cool UI. You're going to get all your Xbox stuff on there. All your games that you have from your back compat, from your Series X and everything else will be on there, as well as the new stores like Steam, Epic, and so forth. So what's the big deal here? Where's the win? Why is Microsoft playing a genius move? And how are they going to be able to outsmart everyone and actually pull off the greatest heist they've ever seen? Well, the answer is already in what I've already told you. You see, companies like Embracer Group and Tencent are able to go and swallow up companies in the masses because they don't have a platform. Because they don't have a platform, if they are releasing their game, it has to go multi-platform. It just has to, right? Even if it doesn't land on one platform, it's going to go on others. So that's just something that's there. Therefore, the competition is there. But when it comes to Xbox, they have their traditional console. And I believe that the journey to where Microsoft actually wants to go is to get rid of the platform. Now, obviously, that's going to be like, well, no, they said they're making a console. Exactly. But if it is the reference console that I'm talking about, which will have a blueprint that will allow Asus, MSI, and so forth to actually make, that console. Think of the, the Xbox version as the Steam Deck. Then you've got like the Asus ROG, and you've got the MSI Claw, the Lenovo Go, the Aya Neo. They're all essentially referencing they're all essentially the same thing with different specs, but none of them are going below a certain spec. The Xbox console will be that at an affordable price for you to buy and enjoy your home gaming console, while Asus and others may offer a more souped up version at a more expensive price. Think of it like an X. But the most important thing is that the base requirements will be good enough so nothing is ever bottlenecked or restricted. What does this mean? Well, if they're giving you essentially a PC that other manufacturers are able to create as well with the brand of Xbox, at that point, even though they have a platform, they technically don't have a platform. And this is where I believe they are going with it. This is where I believe that the mastermind platform, the mastermind of Microsoft is going to kick in. Because at that point, the FTC can't really turn around and say, well, you can't buy Capcom because you've got a platform. What platform? And if they say you can't buy it, well, Embracer Group is a precedent. Tencent is a precedent. These companies are already buying studios based on the fact that they don't have a platform. And the next Xbox console, if it is a reference PC, like I think it's going to be, well, then Microsoft essentially won't have a platform. The platform will be Game Pass. And every studio that they buy, every publisher that they buy, will just add to that Game Pass portfolio. But those games will still go to other platforms. They're going to be multiplayer. So if they buy Sega, those games will go to PlayStation. They will go to the Nintendo platform. If they buy Capcom, they will go to PlayStation. They will go to the Nintendo platform as well as PC. But what is important here is that as a Game Pass user, you are getting everything day one as part of your subscription. And Microsoft will grow this. Next play is the fact that they've got, they're in the partnership with NVIDIA. GeForce Now seems to be kind of more and more getting closer to Microsoft in terms of becoming part of what they do. And if you're asking me how is this even possible, well, now if you get GeForce Now, you get 3 months of, I think it's up to 3 months of Game Pass, PC Game Pass with it. But the biggest thing, and one thing that Microsoft is very not proactive in doing, they've given NVIDIA access to their API protocol for their logins. Now, this is something Microsoft doesn't just give out to anyone. So now, in the past, if I logged into GeForce Now to play an Xbox game through the cloud, I would have to put in my username and password every single time. And for those of you that have really long passwords, that could be really annoying. But now they've given them access, unfiltered access to their API for their login protocol, portal. And now when you put those details in the first time, it remembers it. So now no matter which machine you connect to, it will remember your details because it has that information and that handshake already pre-existingly taken. Now, this is huge. Why is this big? Because this means Microsoft is no longer going to be shackled by the CMA and by Ubisoft. They can give them the middle finger and tell them to go do one. Why is that? Because realistically, now that this is actually happening and GeForce Now is slowly and surely coming, and it will eventually be a service that's with Xbox as well in a partnership. I don't think NVIDIA will ever sell it, but it's going to be a fruitful partnership that both parties are going to enjoy. At that point, Microsoft is going to have not only one of the best cloud gaming platforms in the world, but all of their games that are on NVIDIA's GeForce Now that the CMA is blocking from xCloud will now be on Xbox. Do you see where I'm going with this? And obviously, as time goes on and as this deal cements itself, you'll probably see it slowly integrated, at least the mid-tier, into Game Pass. And then if you want to get the actual higher tier that gives you access to the 4080 or 5080 when it launches, then you'll pay a little bit extra for that subscription and get that one as well. Now, that's what I'm thinking here. That's my thoughts on this. So as of right now, all of this that's happening is part of a much bigger plan. It's part of a much grander scheme. All of this looks like Microsoft is actually being super weak, bowing out of the console market. Everyone's looking at them like, what the hell are you doing? But in reality, they're about to, if this is as I'm saying, pull off one of the greatest moves in video game history and just make that Game Pass deal so great that no one will see it coming. They're using those PC reference console machines as a way to kind of say, hey, look, we don't have a console anymore. We just have, these PCs that Asus can build, MSI can build, anyone else can build, as long as they build it to these references, because they do need to play at least these games at, the frame rate that they're supposed to be running at. This is what they're doing, and they can, if those people want to, if Asus wants to, make it stronger, they can make their console, their mini PC, more powerful. That is competition. That basically means that Microsoft, sure, isn't going to have the control that they want overall on the actual platform because they don't need it, because the platform is Game Pass. And at that point, you can have a £500-600 console mini PC in your home that you'll notice no difference when you go to boot up your game. You'll have all the games that are available on other storefronts available at your doorstep. If the Windows, if it is running basically Windows, you'll be getting PlayStation games as well. There's no way they can just, disable Windows, Steam running on Windows, right? There's going to be no Xbox API there. There's going to be no Xbox protocol there, because the next Windows that's going to come out, or in 2 years' time, if Windows 11 is still here, that Windows will also support the Xbox Sandbox to be able to play your Series X, your Xbox One, and your 360 and OG Xbox games. So even your basic PC will be able to do what that mini PC is doing, but the mini PC will just be in a form factor for a console with a lovely UI that we know they're working on and are trying to perfect for those mini handheld consoles to push out. So to TLDR it, they are going to create a mini PC that will basically mean that they don't essentially have a platform anymore. The platform becomes Game Pass. That will give them the freedom to go and buy any publisher they want, put those games day one within your subscription into Game Pass without any regulators really having a say in what they can do or can't do, because at the end of the day, Embracer Group and Tencent are doing exactly the same thing. Revenue will be coming in for those games from all angles, and while that revenue keeps coming in and they profit like crazy and don't have to use the hardware anymore, Xbox Live will be a thing of the past. You don't have to pay for your Xbox Live subscription anymore. We'll be getting more and more games as part of the subscription day one. On top of that, with GeForce now actually, with NVIDIA actually having a great partnership, and that partnership getting sweeter and sweeter, that is going to eventually mean that GeForce Now is going to replace xCloud. NVIDIA is going to handle that infrastructure of where it is. That means that NVIDIA is going to be handling all of that bulk, and the subscription fee that you want to give to them will go to them. Microsoft will give them a certain chunk every year for the standard subscription, but if you want to pay more, that will go to NVIDIA. But you as a consumer are getting access to a cloud platform that has every ABK, every ZeniMax, every Xbox game. You tell me how this is a bad thing. You tell me how once this happens, Microsoft hasn't won. All of this, we want Microsoft out of the business, all they've done is played into Microsoft's hands. I genuinely believe that this is what's going to happen. I don't see another, I don't see another real pathway to this. I think this is it. I think this is the end game. This is the console wars end game, and with Microsoft doing this, they win. I don't know. You let me know in the comment section below what you think. Does any of this make sense to you? If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to question it, and I will do my best to answer. But this to me is crazy, and I am just blown away. I mean, I was thinking about it today, and talking with a colleague at work, and we just realized that this is the end game. By eliminating the platform, they are free to buy anyone they want. They don't have to worry about, you know, Famicom releasing a game on Xbox. They'll just release it. And it'll be on your console because your console is a PC. And if they buy Famicom, then Famicom games will be day one on your PC. Do you see where I'm going with this? With your mini PC hybrid console? Do you see where I'm going with it? This is the end game. So let me know what you think. To me, if this is where they're going, this is genius. This is chef's kiss. This is a power play that will probably be talked about for ages. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this content and enjoyed the ramblings of a madman thinking outside the box and going with what is what, do hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. As always, remain legend.